We've spent some time pondering the proper range of freedom of choice in markets. We now turn to 19th century readings on the nature and limits of liberty. These are John Stuart Mill's On Liberty, written in 1859, and Pope Leo XIII's encyclical Libertas, written in 1888. Mill's On Liberty is a classic statement of today's prevailing definition of liberty, or freedom. Liberty for Mill is the absence of external restraint on our actions. This is what Oxford philosopher Isaiah Berlin called negative liberty in his oft-cited 1958 lecture, Two Concepts of Liberty. The counterpart to negative liberty is positive liberty. That's the ability to take an action. Mill thought that our individual experiments are a source of progress, but he wasn't a radical libertarian. He recognized that we live in communities. The question he wrestled with was the same that we've seen in Free to Choose and Nudge. What is the proper sphere of personal autonomy? Mill's analysis starts with his famous harm principle. Here's how he puts it. That principle is that the sole end for which mankind are warranted in interfering with the liberty of action of any of their number is self-protection. That the only purpose for which power can be rightfully exercised over any member of a civilized community against his will is to prevent harm to others. His own good, either physical or moral, is not a sufficient warrant. In other words, I'm not accountable to society for actions that affect only myself. I am culpable if I harm the interests of others. In that case, society might rightly shun me, and the state might rightly fine or imprison me. But Mill qualifies the principle. Actions that don't affect others are no one else's business, unless other parties think the action might harm them. In that case, they may use advice, instruction, persuasion, and avoidance to protect themselves from harm. Of course, life is complicated. The principle doesn't provide clear-cut rules for gauging harm and guilt. Thus, the thorny question for Mill's principle of liberty is the meaning of harm. It's more than physical harm, since it includes the interests of others. But such interests are often subjective. They're in the eye of the beholder. In the next lesson, we'll see how Mill teases out the sphere of personal liberty.